Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome to another video. Today we'll solve an interesting problem on the counter in electro-pneumatic system. So let's see the problem statement first. Okay, so the problem states that design a electro-pneumatic circuit for a double acting cylinder to perform a continuous to and fro motion. The cylinder has to stop automatically after performing 5 cycles operation. So what will happen is that I will push a push button. Then the cylinder will extend, retract. It will go on for 5 times. Then after that, cylinder will automatically return to its initial position. So now let's draw the circuit. First, I'll have my supply lines. Okay, now I'll draw a latching circuit. So this is my latching circuit. I will identify this. So this is my start push button. This is my brake switch. I will identify this later. This is my relay coil K1 and this make switch will triggered by K1. Now let's draw the second branch. Okay, so the first make contact will be triggered by also K1 and the second one will be a limit switch which will sense the initial position of the cylinder. And I will give a relay coil K2. Now in the next branch, I'll draw the solenoid part. So this make switch will sense K2 and this is my solenoid Y1 and it will be linked to the left side of this 5x2 DCB. Now for the next branch, here this physical limit switch will sense the final position of the cylinder or in other word A1 and this relay coil will be K3. Now for the next branch, I will copy this. Okay, so this limit switch will sense K3 and this solenoid will be Y2. It will be linked to the right side of this 5x2 DCB. Now for the counter part. I already discussed counter in this video. You should watch that. Let me draw the counter now. So in this counter, we have the relay coil A1, A2 and the reset coil R1 and R2. We have to connect it in this manner. I will use a make switch on the reset circuit. So this make switch will sense the start push button. And this is a push button, not a make switch. Sorry for that. So this make switch will sense the start push button. And we will set the counter for 5. Now let me explain the working principle of this circuit. So at first I will press the start push button. What will happen is that a signal will form. The K1 actuates, the relay energizes. So this contact closes. Then a permanent connection is made. Because of the latching concept, you already know this. This K1 closes and this contact will sense the A0 position and the cylinder is at A0 position at first. So this contact also closes, this limit switch I mean. Now K2 energizes. Because of that, this make switch closes and Y1 coil energizes. Because of that, the left side of this 5x2 DCV will actuate and the cylinder will extend to A1 position. Now, at A1 position, what will happen? This limit switch will break, K2 is demagnetized and Y1 is demagnetized also. So, there is no signal at the left side of this 5x2 DCV. Now, at A1 position, this limit switch closes, K3 energizes. This limit switch or make switch contact will be closed and Y2 will get energized. Because of that, the right side of this 5x2 DCB will actuate and a signal will flow here and the cylinder will start to retract. But at the same time, this counters A1, A2 coil will get energized. And I can see that there is a mistake in this circuit. Can you guess what is the mistake? So there is a mistake in this line. The mistake was that I didn't give any push button or a limit switch or a contact switch in that section. So let me remove this. Now there will be a make switch and it will connect to A1. So this limit switch actually will sense the A1 position, right? So as I was explaining, at A1 position, this limit switch closes, K3 energizes, Y2 energizes, and the cylinder is starting to retract. But at the same time, this contact also closes because it is sensing the A1 position. So a signal is flowing to the A1 A2 coil of the counter, and this 5 becomes 4, and the cylinder retracts. And when the cylinder reaches the A0 position, then this limit switch will sense that the contact will get closed, K2 energizes, Y1 energizes, and the left side will actuate again. The cylinder extends at A1 position, the cycle repeats. This 4 becomes then 3, then it becomes 2, then 1, then 0. Okay. So when the counter counts down to 0, what will happen then? Then this operation have to be stopped. How will I do that? I will do that by using this break contact. So this break contact will sense the ending of the counter. So this is the symbol which represents that it is sensing the countdown. So when it reaches 0, this brake switch will get open, the circuit operation will stop. Let me also identify this. Suppose this is counter C and this brake switch will sense the C. I explained another part in the counter, the reset circuit. How this reset circuit works. So at the end of this operation, this counter value becomes 0. Great. Now when I again press this start button, then this start button triggers this make contact here. Then this contact closes, a signal will flow here to the reset circuit of the counter. Then this count value becomes 5 from 0 and the cycle continues again. So this is the overall solution of this problem. Now let's see in the FluidSIM software. I have the circuit made already. I did exactly as I explained earlier. Now let's start simulate and go step by step. Before that, if you don't know how to change the value of the counter, then double click on this counter. Here you can see in the component parameter, counter value is 5. You can change to 6, 7, whatever. Now let's simulate. So I'm clicking the start button. The start button is clicked. What will happen then? The K1 connection is being made. The latching circuit is in play. This K1 closes. A0 also closes. Here you can see it's open, but it was closed at the previous step. K2 energizes. This K2 was closed at the previous step. This Y1 energizes. The left side of this DCB actuates and the cylinder C starting to move. It is nearly at the A1 position. So at A1 position you can see two things are happening. This limit switch is sensing A1, K3 energizes, then this Y2 energizes. Now the cylinder is ready to be retracted. This limit switch also closes. A signal is going to the A1, A2 coil of the counter, and the count value goes down from 5 to 4. Here you can see 4. And the cylinder continues to retract due to the latching action. The A0 position is sensed. This 2 switch closes, K2 energizes, and then Y1 solenoid will get energized. See? So again at A1 position, this counter value becomes now 3. Now let's see in the normal speed. So I'm clicking the start button. See, the counter value is now at 0. So if I now press the start button, then this start button will trigger this contact at the reset circuit of the counter. The count value will become 5 again. Let's see that. Clicking start now. Pay attention to the count value. It is 0 now. But when I press the start button, it will go back to 5. See? Let's click the start again. Okay, the solution worked perfectly. We have a lot of component in this circuit, but understanding this circuit is very easy. And if you have any confusion, please write to me in the comment. I will make sure to answer you. So that's all for the video. See you in the next one. Allah Hafiz.